Welcome to the Weekly Mag. Today we dedicate our show to social media. It's a day to talk with the Instagrammer Kaula Mumaza, the booktuber Marta Butet, and the expert in social networks Pedro Rojas. We will discover the trendy pop of the Barcelona band Her Little Donkey. And Groucho Marx refused to join any club that would have him as a member, but will our collaborators Mark Broderick and Matthew Tree follow the Weekly Mag, your favorite show in English, presented by Marcela Topor.
Welcome to the Weekly Mag. How do we use social networks? What for? What should they be used for? How is this changing our lives and how will they evolve? Lots of questions, but hopefully we'll try to get some answers from three experts right after our glossary.
We are talking to experts on social media today, and one of the main questions is how to make money out of them, or in other words, how to monetize them. If you try to monetize something such as your social networks, you try to make a profit from them. One of the dangers of social media is cyberbullying. That's the use of the internet to frighten or upset someone, usually by sending them unpleasant messages. Hopefully, though, the pros of social media outweigh the cons. If you say that one thing outweighs another, the first thing is of greater importance, benefit, or significant than the second thing. And let's finish the glossary with an informal expression. Sticky situation. When you say something is a sticky situation, you mean it involves problems or is embarrassing.
Pedro Rojas is a consultant in social media and digital strategy and university professor who assists companies and individuals with social media and digital strategies. Kaula Bumasa is an advertising and public relations student and an Instagrammer with more than 62,000 followers from all over the world. She has been recently awarded with the eTech Award as the best influencer in Girona. And finally, Marta Butet loves literature and she has been a booktuber since the age of 11 on her own YouTube channel. She has appeared on different Catalan media and now she is working on the program Terrícolas in BTV. Well, first of all, Kaula, Marta and Pedro, welcome.
How are you?
Welcome. And let's start with Kaula. You are a student, you create content for the internet and your profile, absolutely Kaula, like we said before, has tens of thousands of followers. How did you manage to get to that point?
Well, I started obviously just as a regular user. I did not expect my channel to grow this big. However, as I interacted with more users, I discovered that talking to strangers on the internet was the best thing that could ever happen to me, because I met people from around the world, like-minded individuals with whom I was sharing interests, sharing passion for travel, for creativity, for content, and basically that's how I built my professional life right now.
Okay. How did you decide to work with Instagram in the first place, to choose Instagram as a social platform?
Actually, when I started, I got inside Instagram for my own treball de recerca. I interviewed some of the biggest bloggers, the ones that were my idols, and through contact with them, I decided that I wanted to have the same positive influence that they had, but with my own local community, because they were across the world, but there was no one in Spain. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be the person that I needed when I was 12.
Okay, and you managed to be very successful. And we continue with Pedro. You help companies, you help professionals. Is consultant the right term we should use to describe you?
Yes, it is. I help companies and professionals, and also people, anyone.
Famous people.
Yeah, famous people too, politicians and everyone almost. And I help them to monetize their social network, how to make money through social networks.
Very interesting. Are we really aware of the potential that the internet has?
Yes. Well, not everyone is aware of that. Not everyone. Actually, at the beginning, people believe, oh, this is my network, and I'm gonna handle like something without value. But then, when they realize that there is a value behind that, they can see a different approach. So they start taking actions in order to monetize whatever they are doing there.
You work between Barcelona and Miami.
Yes. Well, Florida, but I have a little office, a small office in Miami. And from there, I, let's say, control all South America and part of Florida, North Florida, and Atlanta, also California. So we cover different customers over there in the United States, trying to get to two different publics, the Hispanic public and the English public, and some mix between them. So that's why we have an office and it's successful.
Okay, which social network, social media do you use most?
LinkedIn is the one I use the most. Secondly, Instagram, because the two of them bring me some business, a lot of business. So basically, I live on those two social networks. When I say I live, it's my way of living.
Okay, all right, and we continue with Marta, who is a booktuber. You started reviewing and recommending books. Why did you choose YouTube, and what did it bring you in this case?
Well, I chose YouTube because I actually started with a blog, so I was writing my book reviews, but then I realized that I couldn't really transmit to people what I felt when I read, so I decided that maybe doing a YouTube channel where I could actually talk to people, I could make them feel what I felt when I was reading, which was really the main goal when I started my blog, to make people feel something when they read, especially young people who think reading is boring and that they don't like it anymore. So I decided YouTube was the best way to connect with someone, for them to see me. It's not someone hiding behind a username, it's you actually talking to someone and telling them, hey, reading is cool and you should do it.
Actually, you've been a Catalan YouTuber since the age of 11.
Yeah.
That's a very young age. Tell us, what have you learned from social networks? And also tell us about this TED Talk that you gave a few years ago.
What I've learned, wow, I've learned so many things. I've learned that reading actually isn't dead and that young people still like to read, which...
that's good news.
Yep, that was what I was trying to accomplish, and receiving messages from teachers that tell me if I can go to their classrooms to give a speech because they look at my videos before they read a book, or that they do homework based on my videos, and the students have to produce videos like my own. Talking about books is the best thing that could ever happen, because it means that it's actually working and that I've actually had an impact on people and I've actually made them read. And the TED Talk was, well, the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's like the best experience ever. And when I was 15, I got the chance to go to New York and be in TED Youth and give a speech about my passion for reading and that I'm a booktuber. And when they say reading makes you travel, it makes you go to different places, that actually happened to me. Like, I actually went from Barcelona to New York, and it's been one of the best experiences ever.
Yeah, I guess it was a before and after in your career.
Totally, yeah.
Okay, the word influencer, lots of people use this word, but what does it actually mean? And do you consider yourselves as influencers?
Yes,
Pedro?
we have to use it with careful, because influencer of who? Of whom? Because influencer in general, I believe there is no influencer in general. I mean, maybe someone influencing some kind of people, some tribes, let's say tribes, because in a tribe you can find someone with 65 years old and someone with 15. Now let's say video games, for example.
Yes.
There is a tribe there. So influencing is the art and science of make people take decisions over one thing, but more specific.
Okay.
There is no general influencer at all.
Do you consider yourselves as influencers?
I've had a hard time with that concept because I feel like everyone just like sticks it as the medal, I'm an influencer, and I choose to say that I'm a content creator. I connect with people, and I do it through content. My main purpose is not to influence them to buy stuff, but rather to share my lifestyle. And then if we have common taste, if we have common goals, if we share interests, then yeah, let's do it together. But it's optional, and it's not. That's not the main purpose.
Marta?
I actually I don't really like the word influencer, because when I started using YouTube, there were no such thing as even YouTubers. It was just people posting videos onto YouTube, and not even booktubers. Like, I discovered that word in 2014 or something like that. So when people call themselves influencers, it's like giving yourself this really big tag, like, I influence people. I mean, yeah, you do, but I prefer calling people like Instagrammers, YouTubers, or content creators, filmmakers, like specific to what they do. It's what Pedro said, you can't influence everyone. Like, people choose to follow you, you're not their influencer. So I have influenced people into reading, but I'm a booktuber, I'm not an influencer.
Yes, but actually you can call yourself influencer. In the right time, you realize you influence people to make decisions. So even if you make those decisions with just one people, or just one person, I'm sorry. So that's the thing. Maybe you are an influencer, but not taking this word in this misconsideration where everybody's taking it at this point.
Of course. Well, Pedro, you have written a few books, among them Community Management for Dummies, and your last one is called Cómo monetizar las redes sociales, how to monetize social networks. So the question is it actually easy to make money through them, and how does it work?
It's not easy, but it's not complicated neither. So what you have to do is to understand which is your business model, how everything you do in social networks impact that business model, and once you find that point, you can start from there and start doing actions based on your audience, your competitors, what kind of people are you directing your message. It's a mix. At that time, you start making money. Once you understand what are you doing.
We'll continue, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but now let's talk about the internet, about its advantages and disadvantages.
Yes, there is a risk of privacy, but it's because most people don't understand how to manage that privacy. So, and there is another risk, which is addiction.
Addiction,
yeah,
yes.
Addiction and privacy, I believe,
are
the two most important risks within internet. In the addiction side, you have two, let's say, two flows. The first one is narcissism, which is the most dangerous in that case, and the other one is insecurity. We can talk about Instagram to define this narcissism, and the thing is, most people have problems at home, at school, everywhere, and they dilute those problems with social networks because they feel safe there.
I have experienced some myself. It took me quite a lot to actually understand that what I put out there, it can be screenshotted, it can be screen recorded, it is shared between people. Who shares it with each other? Why do they share it? What is being said about me? Even like, you know...
We had some problems, I know, about bullying problems. You mentioned these in an interview. Was it before you became a well-known Instagrammer?
Yes.
Or after?
It was actually before, but also even while being an influencer, you can find online trolls. Cyberbullying exists. You know, like you're putting yourself voluntarily on the spotlight. So you sign up for wanted and unwanted attention. And the risk of that is that you will get criticized, you will get judged. But again, like if you want to see positivity, you will see it, and if you want to see negativity, you will see it. So in my case, I choose to value the support because so far it outweighs negativity. However, there's also identity. My identity gets stolen twice a week. Every day there's girls using my pictures, pretending to be me. Also there's harassment, people who get angry because you don't respond to them, people who feel entitled to get a response back when, you know, like if you support someone, it should be out of the joy of supporting, not because you expect something in return. So this is something that a little bit, it drains, you know, the positive energy that social media, the positive impact.
You had any problems related to the way you dress, for example? You said once that the hijab covers my head, not my brain.
Yes, usually people mistake the hijab as a sign of oppression. When I'm not wearing it because I'm oppressed, but rather because I choose to believe in the values it represents. And I believe that as long as I harm no one, it's my decision. But people still take it very personally, which is quite funny.
Okay, but things are improving. That's
Definitely,
good news,
there's
no?
more open-mindedness.
Marta.
I've actually been lucky to not have any problems in my years of being a booktuber, as in hate. I have received a mean comment once in a while, but obviously my platform is much smaller because, well, talking about books since I was 11 in Catalan on YouTube is like a smaller community. Still hate comment here and there, but the first time I received a hate comment, I was actually pretty happy. I was like, wow, I've made it, like I've got a hate comment. Like I showed all my friends, I was like, I screenshotted it and everything. So it was quite funny to me because hate comments come from people who are hateful people. So they really don't know anything about you. They're just saying things that they assume from a screen. They can't judge you because they don't know you. So yeah, I've been quite lucky to have a community that, because I feel like because I started so young talking about something so simple as reading, like there's really no controversy to hang on to. Like it's just people talking about books and people sharing their joy for reading. So we can't come with hate because you're going to be like, there's not going to be any like things to catch on to.
Exactly. Well, social media has very fast changed many things in our daily lives, and language is no exception. Many words and expressions have evolved to acronyms or even just letters and numbers. So, if you want to improve your texting in English, take note of Helen Armstrong's language tip.
Hi, how are you? That's what I said, how are you? But it's written as a text message. Now, in the English language, we have lots of words which are homophones, which are words that are spelt differently but sound the same. But this can also refer to letters and numbers. So the letter R sounds exactly like the word R, and U, the letter U, sounds like you. And this saves time when we're writing text messages. So the next one would be, why didn't I see you at the bar? Can you see that the letter Y sounds exactly the same as the question word, why, and the letter C is the same as the verb see? Can you read this one? I'll be there too, yeah. And this has a mixture of numbers and letters. And it's like the rock band U2, which means you too, you as well. And you can use any number or letter you want as long as it has the same pronunciation as the word. So the most commonly used ones are 2, 4, B, C, R, I, O, U, T, and Y. So I'll leave you with this one. Bye.
What can we expect from the answers of three experts in social media to our mystery question? Don't miss it!
We are discussing social networks with the Instagrammer Kaula Bumata, the booktuber Marta Butet, and the social media and internet consultant Pedro Rojas. And now let's talk a bit about famous influencers with our collaborator Ana Priscila Magrinha. Ana Priscila?
I'm a famous
welcome.
influencer. No,
Of course you are. You are
hiya.
famous for us. Anyway, what facts have you brought us today?
First of all, I have to say that I'm not really keen on social media. I do have Twitter, but I don't have Instagram. Oh, you're looking at me like, oh my God.
Not judging, not judging.
And I was a bit curious to find out people who make a lot of money with Instagram. And I brought you the three people who make the most money out of Instagram. First
and the
person.
word is, Pedro, monetize, no? Their social
yes.
media.
But there is a difference here between famous and influencer. Because someone famous, already famous, because I don't know, he was or her was on TV from a long time ago.
Yeah.
Maybe she or he is famous, but not an influencer. But and the opposite. You have
You'll
someone.
tell me if these three people are just famous or are also influencers. I think
Great.
the first one, she's famous and she's an influencer. Kylie Jenner from the Jenner family. She has 133 million of followers. Just like kind of like me in Twitter. And she's the queen of money making on Instagram. She makes around $1 million per every single sponsored spot. Like $1 million. I would be happy just to get that for the rest of my life. what does she publicize? She publicizes her own makeup brand, but she also publicizes clothes, bags, and she makes a lot of money. I don't know, maybe you make kind of the same, or
It's just pocket change for me.
what do you think about getting money out of publicizing products? For instance, in your Instagram account, I don't know if you work like this.
In my case, it was quite tricky because when I entered Instagram, I was like, I'm not gonna monetize it. I am gonna keep it strictly just for the joy of publishing. But then 5 years down the road, I found myself spending about 4 or 5 hours, even 6 some days, just connecting, just sharing, interacting, and that's more than a half-time job. So I was like, okay, I need to find a way to support myself. At the end of the day, I have my own expenses, but without selling out myself. So I decided that I would monetize it, but with values. So I do support brands that have whose values align with mine, brands who do things right, sustainable, or local brands. Also, I love to support small businesses. But as long as I can do it with storytelling, as long as it fits my story, and as long as it feels natural to my followers, if it's not beneficial, the money, like, there's many ways of making money. I don't really need to sell myself out just to make it till the end of the month.
Do you answer the comments of your followers?
I try to.
Because Kylie Jenner, she gets a lot of comments, and I'm like, she's not gonna answer. You do take the time to answer.
I think that I'm still small, so as much if I can, then I sure do answer them. And I also get a lot of DMs asking, what app do you use, or where can I buy this? So if, you know, like, people spend time getting in touch with me, the least I could do is get back to them as much as I can.
Marta, I don't know if you think you ever could make so much money talking about books.
What a dream. $1 million for talking about books. Now that would be amazing. But no, I don't think anyone's ever going to get there. But it's really amazing how people make so much money out of social media. Like, I don't even monetize my videos. I think you can, like, get into it, obviously, but it's like so much work just looking at the YouTube analytics and stuff that I just don't really care, and I just post when I want, and I have like zero attachments to anything, which is really cool. Even when I started working with publishing houses that send me books, usually booktubers talk about the books they get sent. Yeah. But when the first publishing house approached me, I was still young, so I didn't even know anything, the first thing about business. So I was like, well, if I like the book, I'm going to talk about it. And if I don't like the book, I'm not, because I'm not going to lie. So if I don't like the book, I would have to make a video talking about why I don't like a book. And I'm here to spread joy for reading, not to take it away. So I just said, if I like it, I'll talk about it. If I don't, I won't. If I can read the book, I will. So people send me their books if they want to, and I'm just fine with it. I still buy my own books. It's like what I love doing the most.
What if you have a friend who's a writer and he or she wants you to talk about their book and you don't like that book? Maybe you lie in that moment?
That's so
well, that would be a really sticky situation. I hope that I never get into it, but wow, I don't know what I would do. I wouldn't lie. I would say maybe it's not my cup of tea and be like a bit neutral.
Pedro, why do people like these kind of posts? Are they aware that it's actually an advert? If they were aware, would they react to it as well?
There is a difference between advertising, that is the same advertising as seen in TV, for example, with someone famous, and let's say Shakira. Shakira, maybe she's on TV saying something and people buy it, okay. But it's the same advertising if Shakira goes to her social network and say the same? Yes, it is the same. So she's not an influencer at that point. She's an advertiser. She's been paying for that. But let's say someone which is not famous, but became famous as a product of a social network, or as a result of whatever she's doing in social network or he's doing in social network. So that's a different story, because this guy is an influencer that could be paid as an advertise for or in order to do advertising.
I think the second person I have is not an influencer, and she's famous. Let's see if I get it right. She's Selena Gomez, the singer. Yeah, she's famous. But not an influencer. Well, she makes a lot of money out of her songs and out of Instagram.
Because advertising, no influencing. if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Everybody
Of
knows
course,
her.
yeah.
She said, this shampoo is great, okay, because I want to like you, or I want to be like you, maybe I'm going to buy that shampoo, or something like that.
Okay, I think
She
that's
makes
clear.
149. No, she has 149 million followers, and she makes $800,000 per each post that publicizes something.
Not bad.
Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is she will make the same on TV 10 years
as
ago.
on Instagram.
So we have to take into account that some regular person will never make that. So we are playing with people hope. So people believe, I wanna make myself an influencer. That is not possible, and it's not possible anymore because Instagram already changed their algorithm. So it's not possible at this time.
So if nobody knows you, it's very difficult
probably
to...
know if you start today. If you come with that,
I'm already late.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Oh my
I'm sorry
gosh.
about that. But it's an algorithm thing now.
Don't despair.
I don't think I would be really good at
It not depends on us.
advertising.
It all depends in Instagram because they changed the algorithm dramatically from 2018 last year, and this year, at the beginning of this year, 2019, they changed it again. So no one could be an influencer anymore. Starting now. If you have it, okay, you can continue with that. But if you want to start now, it's gonna be a hard way to go.
I'm really sad now.
Yeah, I think you
Well,
broke just a lot of people's dreams. Like lots of people say, I want to be an influencer when I grow up.
But it's the truth. It's better they know the truth than going with the hope that is not exist.
Well, anyway, we have another example.
We have another example. He's probably not an influencer. He's another famous person, and I don't know if you like him or not. He's Cristiano Ronaldo, and he makes a lot of money as well. He advertises underwear, clothing, and his muscles basically because he really likes to take pictures of his amazing body. He makes $500,000 per each post with something that he's
It's the
advertising.
same. We're talking
Not
the
bad.
same.
And tell me, how much do you dedicate to social networks and social media, Marta?
I mean, as a user, the other day I opened my, iPhone now has this thing where you can see how much time you spend on an app.
It's terrible.
I was 17 hours a week on Instagram. Like, that is mental. I didn't even know I spent that much time on Instagram. And I feel, there's so many other things I could be doing, but no, I'm on Instagram or on YouTube. Like, you don't even know how much time you actually spend on the app. And it's just like little moments.
Are you going to change this now? Now that you're being aware of how much time you spend on them?
You're addicted, I have to tell you. I'm not a doctor, but 17 hours is quite a lot.
Correct.
It's spread across the week. It's not
across the week, yeah,
so
not a
3
day.
hours.
Hopefully it's not per day.
But all depends. If she works there, if there is a tool of working, if you use it as a tool, maybe it's not too much.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's
3
not
hours.
a tool, so it's really I'm addicted.
But
yeah.
you can see the difference. Maybe I use it as a tool. So in my case, maybe I invest like 24 hours more or less weekly, in a weekly basis of Instagram and some other social networks. So it's different for me
But
because
you work with
exactly
that,
it's like working as a tool. Exactly.
Well, I don't know if we'll be able to improve our internet profiles, but we'll be learning a lot about social networks today. And we have learned actually a lot. Now it's time for a short break, and we'll be right back with our mystery question.
What is your favorite number? It will probably appear in our Guess What quiz because we dedicated 2 numbers. Go figure!
Welcome back. We were listening to Ana Priscila's rank list of the best paid influencers on the internet, and that's because we are talking today about social networks with the expert Pedro Rojas, the Instagrammer Kaula Abumasa, and the booktuber Marta Butet. And now it's time for our mystery question with Ana Priscila.
Yeah, this is a classic of this program. Guys, you have to grab a ball, please, and try to open it. You can go, yeah? Pedro, if you want, we can start with you. You have to be honest. We're gonna know if you're telling the truth or not, so.
Okay, the question is, what do your favorite pajamas look like?
Wow.
Yeah, actually I have one. My Star Wars pajamas.
Oh.
I have 3.
So I guess you're a fan of Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very easy question to answer.
I think that's a great answer.
Yeah.
Me.
Okay. Let's see. Next
Excellent.
question.
Marta.
What's the last time you were absolutely bored?
Don't say today.
Imagine.
Don't say now.
Like, oh no, they took away my answer. Okay. I think probably yesterday was the last time I had 4G. I spent all my 4G for the month. So I was on the bus with no Spotify, so I couldn't listen to music, and I was bored out of my mind looking out the window like, what am I supposed to do for 20 minutes? So yeah.
This is because you spend too much time on Instagram.
True. Hashtag exposed, yep.
Okay, fair enough.
Of all the people you've met lately, which one amazed you the most? This is a tricky question. I met a lot of amazing people. I met the founder of a huge page on Instagram with 2 million followers, and she told me like the whole story of how she built it, how the journey was. I mean, 2 million followers are a lot of followers, the pressure you're going through. And I think her journey inspired me a lot, so I would say Sofia.
All right, well, before we go, Pedro, Marta, and Carla, what about the future? What does future bring us in terms of social networks, social media applications? Are they here to stay, and how will they evolve in the future, in your opinion?
Objectively, it's not possible to answer that question because it will be some irresponsible answer. So the thing is, nobody knows. And all depends on us because we are the users, and social networks owners, they follow us in order to see what we want in a social network. And at the other side, them, because they act based on a business model, and I don't know where all this is going to go if they keep that track, thinking only on the money and not only on the people.
It's really hard because we live in an era where everything is constantly changing. What we have now will change tomorrow. Like the algorithm on Instagram changed from last year to this year. You can't possibly imagine what will happen. I mean, 10 years ago, no one thought that you could make $1 million from an Instagram post, which is totally insane. So I really don't know what's going to happen. It's funny because in the TED Talk, I was asked what was the future of reading, what I thought reading would look like in 2035. And I mean, everything's a wild guess. Anything could happen. I mean, we were talking about flying cars a long time ago, and now, I mean, you get $1 million from an Instagram post. I mean, the future is really uncertain, and I can't predict it, but I hope that reading has a good spot on that future.
Okay, me too.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page with them. I think that social media is there right here and right now. We might as well make the most out of it while we can, but we must be ready to embrace whatever change the future holds.
Well, anyway, thanks all for coming. Pedro, Marta, and Kaula, thank you so much. Good luck with everything, and Ana Priscila, see you soon, I hope.
Me too.
Thanks.
Well, if you work with social media, there are some abbreviations you need to know. But since any Tom, Dick, or Harry has to deal with hashtags and other trends nowadays, we just thought a language tip about them would be much useful. So, pay attention to our teacher Tim Wari from International House Barcelona. I guarantee it's well worth it.
Hi again. So, maybe you're thinking about becoming a CMGR. What's that, I hear you ask? That is a community manager. That's somebody who manages the SM of a company, the social media. So, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. Here are some hashtags that you're definitely going to need if you want to be a CMGR. The first one is hashtag TBT. This is Throwback Thursday. So this is usually on Instagram every Thursday when people post old photos of themselves, remembering past times on a Thursday. Another important one is hashtag FF. This one is Follow Friday. So this is on Fridays where people suggest other accounts that they want other people to follow. Maybe an interesting account on Twitter or an interesting Instagram account with really good photos. Or maybe you want to do a hashtag WHP. This is a weekend hashtag project. So this is where people post photos on a theme. So someone chooses a theme, maybe it could be light, for example, and everybody posts photos over the weekend on that theme, and then the best ones get reposted on a Monday. Or maybe you want to do a hashtag F4F. This is for exchanging followers. So it's follow for follow, meaning if I follow you, you should follow me. Or maybe you want to do a hashtag L4L, like for like. This means I'll like something that you've posted if you like something that I've posted. And that way we both get more likes and more followers. So definitely give this video a like and follow me and the whole show on Twitter and Instagram.
Who says long-distance relationships don't last? Don't miss the story of Teresa and Peter in today's Love in Translation.
And now we get to the part of the show particularly dedicated to our playful viewers, our Guess What quiz with our fantastic, trendy contestants Patricia Scalona and Marius Serra. Welcome.
Hi there.
And of course, let's welcome as well our most followed quizmaster, Sergi Cervera, of course.
Hi, Marcella. How many followers do you have? How many likes? I like you. You can.
We like you,
I like-
Sergi. We all like you.
I like your answer.
I'm just gonna shut up now.
Social networks are all about numbers, and so will be our quiz today. Figures. And as you are both experts in literature, I will start with our multiple choice challenge, testing your knowledge about science.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
Can I
Sounds
go
great.
Okay.
It's all yours.
See ya. See ya.
And we start with the first question. We humans are born with 270 bones, but how many do we generally have as adults?
Option A, 308, because some new bones appear as we grow. Option B, 206, because
My God,
the
I
way
didn't know
he was
that.
staring at me. All right, hold on. 206 because some bones fuse together. And option C, it depends on the bones we break because they count double.
The last one is very funny.
It would be really funny, no?
Yeah.
I would say, and you're gonna copy me. And,
No, you're gonna copy me. I would say
Okay,
B.
B, option B.
me too!
B2.
Me too.
All right. So the right answer is B. Point for you both. Absolutely. We have normally 206 bones as adults because some of them fuse together as we grow up.
Excellent. 1 point for each. And
Thank
we
you, Marius.
continue with
With the next question. Absolutely. Yeah. Now we are going to talk about astronomy. Practical astronomy, indeed.
well, if you ever travel to Mars and here you weigh, let's say, 70 kilos,
70 kilos?
what,
Nice.
what would your weight be on the red planet?
Option A, 30 kilos because Mars is smaller and has less gravity than Earth. B, 127 kilos because Mars has a big gravity due its iron core. Or C, 70 kilos because no planet is going to free us from our overweight.
70 kilos is overweight, man. We have to rethink
It was written that way. That's our
Well, it depends on
screenwriter.
the height.
It
of
depends
course.
on the height.
Maybe it was in pounds.
It was in pounds. Yeah, could be.
I would say A.
A.
No way. I'm gonna say A. And you're gonna copy me.
A2 then.
A2.
A2 then. Which means that point for you both because that's the right answer. Absolutely. The right answer was the red planet is smaller and has less gravity. So if you are tired of diets, that's exactly the place to go.
You know, we love literature, so we are in the moon all
You're
the time.
in the moon all the time.
Quite used to it.
By the way, as
Yeah.
a fun fact, you can go online and check what you would weight in other worlds if you just
Let's
want to
go
know.
Mars, then.
Let's go Mars and let's check
We
it
like
out.
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, would you like to join a mission on Mars or other planets?
Yes,
Would you
let's go
fancy
now.
that?
Let's go now.
Not really.
Let's
in
go
fact,
now.
Let's go right now to Mars. Well, to Mars.
Mars.
Mars. Let's go to Mars.
I don't even like to go to the woods. I don't know what I would do in Mars. It's
No.
like way
Really?
too. Yeah, no.
No bars in Mars.
No.
So, with no
Rightly
bars,
so,
I'm not
man.
going.
Right. I'm so grateful that we
And
got
no
to know
books?
each other. No.
And no books.
And no books
For
in
now.
Mars.
For now.
Anyway, let's go to the next question.
Yeah.
Which is,
Which is
how many eyes does a spider have? How many eyes does a spider have?
take a look. This cutie.
One, two, three.
It's
Are there options?
She's cute, isn't she?
So,
Yeah.
option A.
Option A, most of them 3 eyes. Option B, up to 100 eyes. And option C, most of them 8.
Since we're working as a team, do you want me to answer this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go together.
yeah.
I think the third was what?
Most of them 8.
I think it's C, no?
But it sounds like an octopus.
Sounds like
Because
nuts.
8. Yeah, and spider. Most
We're cheating so
eyes.
badly. Like we're agreeing on an answer now.
We are
Which is,
disagreeing.
which is making this quiz show less funnier because the 2 contestants are working
okay.
together.
We'll answer in a different way.
In a different
You say
way.
C, maybe? I would say
yeah.
A.
A for you, most of them 3 eyes. C for you, option C, most of them 8 eyes, right?
Yeah.
That's correct. The number of eyes varies in spiders, but 8 eyes is probably the most common.
Okay.
And let's go over the score, which is 2 points for Marius and 3 points for Patricia.
And now it's time for a speed challenge, so get your bells ready. And then you, ding, 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 ding. We're after titles of books or films that contain a figure. And today we want to reach high speeds. So I will high speeds, yeah.
Very
so get
high.
ready because I will simply read the title, but for the last word, which you have to guess after ringing your bell, of course. So you guys
Sergio,
are ready?
you start?
All right, yeah.
Ready for ready?
Ready like ready? All right, I start. Ready? 50 Shades of?
Great.
Correct.
Next, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Nest.
Correct.
Okay.
Next, Fahrenheit. Patricia?
451.
451, correct.
Three Blind.
Marius?
No, sorry.
Patricia?
Blind.
Men.
No.
No.
With M, it starts with M, but it's not men.
No, it's 3 blind.
blind.
Mice.
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 Right, point to
Mice.
Patricia.
Oh, mice.
Next, A Tale of Two
Cities.
Cities, correct.
The Three Little.
Come on, guys, the 3 little
Piggies.
Pigs, correct. Guys,
Okay.
ready? And next, 7 years in.
Nepal.
No.
Tibet.
That's Tibet.
We continue with 1001.
Marius.
Dalmatian. 1,000.
1,000.
Sorry. That was
Not-
101.
Exactly.
Think about it. 1001.
Nights.
Nice. Nice. Of course. A beautiful book. All right, get ready. And next one, 101
Dalmatian.
Dalmatians. Correct.
And 9.5.
Days.
No, weeks. Weeks. Point to Marius.
Okay.
Correct. And get ready. Because this is
Interesting.
exactly we're speeding. So next is oceans. Marius.
11 or 12 or 8.
Or 8.
Or 8.
See, he was right at the
Yeah,
very
I was just
first
like-
moment. Point to Marius.
I was just adding the feminist
Adding
point
the
of view.
feminist,
That's all.
the feminist. 8. That's correct. That's correct.
And we continue 12.
Pardon?
12.
12. Marius.
12.
Come on.
No.
on, it's
Just
easy.
one word?
One word.
Just one word.
just one
It's
word.
a movie.
An animal, plural.
This
12.
one is a movie.
Monkeys.
Correct. Point to
12
Marius.
monkeys.
Exactly.
Yeah, 12 monkeys.
Congratulations.
Job
Very
well
well.
done. All right, get ready because here I go. The 10
Commandments?
commandments.
Exactly.
Correct.
And the dirty
Dancing.
D with the
That's a
D
good one. No.
number.
No.
Oh,
The
I'm sorry.
dirty
Number. Figure.
a figure.
8.
37.
Correct. Incorrect.
69.
Dozen.
The dirty dozen. The dirty dozen.
And last but not least, 100 years of Patricia?
Solitude.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Point to
excellent.
Patricia.
Well done,
Excellent.
both of you. And the score is 7 points for Marius,
And
12
12.
points for Patricia.
Yes, exactly. And well, we're done with films and books, but not with numbers, because now we're after English idioms containing numbers. And as before, we're going to read it, but for the last word, which will be for you to guess.
Okay.
So ready like ready?
And we start with the first idiom, okay? If you're very happy, you're on a cloud.
Patricia?
9.
9, correct. Next, when something happens at the last possible moments, it happens at the 11th. Marius?
No.
No.
Sky.
No. No, incorrect. No.
No.
Patricia?
Hour.
Hour. Correct.
That's right.
Patricia.
If you have a terrible coordination, you have 2 left,
Patricia? Feet.
2 left feet.
Next.
I'm going to sleep.
Come back.
I'll see you next week,
It's not
Marius.
over yet.
It's not over. It's not over. We still have a match here. Next, there are too many people because 2 is company, but 3 is a
Multitude.
Multitude.
Synonym.
Synonym.
I don't know. I would have said multitude as well.
Multitude.
Yeah.
Technically, it's correct, but
Crowd.
Crowd,
Point to
exactly.
you. Absolutely.
Exactly, crowd. If you are crawling on your hands and knees, you are on all
Fours.
fours.
Correct. Point
Exactly.
to you. Next, a very good sensation to feel like a million. Patricia.
Dollars.
Dollars. Point to
In
Patricia.
American,
Bucks.
bucks, exactly. If we share the cost of something, we go 50.
Marius. 50.
Exactly.
No doubt about that.
No doubt. Next, 2 very intimate people are 2 peas in a. Marius.
Apple.
Nope. Patricia.
Hot.
Point to Patricia.
Well done. I think that was the last question,
was-
no? And the score is 10 points for Marius and 17 points for Patricia.
Yeah, which means that there is still a possibility for you both to win, because now for the last challenge, a challenge that we will be worth. How much will be worth it?
I don't know. Surprises?
Surprise. Okay, here I go. You know, I can't decide myself. So far, we have used lots of props to decide: a puppet, a dartboard, a bingo drum, blackboards, and
What's next?
that's the thing. That's the thing.
Well, you'll see now.
I think that right now it's time to make some rules. All right?
No,
So
now you think about rules.
I'm thinking about rules now, so I just have simplified them. Here you have an envelope for you.
Thank you.
There is an envelope for you, Marcella.
Thank you.
And there is another envelope for you, Marius.
thank you so
I just
much.
want you guys to write down the day, just the day you were born. Just the day.
Just a day.
Exactly.
day.
A number. Just the day, exactly the day you were born. On the reverse of your card, and I want you to write it, to write just the day, so that we don't know it. Then put the card in the envelope and leave it on the table, or just give it to me, and I will do that for you. All right? And after that, we will open it, and we will know how much, how much do you get for the last challenge, all right?
Okay,
So Marcella is gonna read the hints for the secret that we are looking for. But today is not going to be a fictional work. Today we want you to guess a figure, only a number, so pay attention because the clues are a little different today, all right?
And quite easy at the same time. So, this number is positive. This number is not a prime number. This number is even. This number is said to bring bad luck in China.
Marius?
4.
Well done.
Correct!
Marius. Yes.
Absolutely.
Because
I told you it was easy.
The 4th floor is never in China.
It's like
in the
13.
hospital. It's like our 13.
Oh, really? Really?
Anyway, I was going to say that it is also the cube root, 64, and it has the same numbers of letters as the number itself. Sergio?
Yeah, absolutely. Number 4, as in the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So the word 4 has 4 letters, and we use it a lot in Catalan expressions as quatre gats. as we are exactly as we are right now. So now, Marius, it's for you to choose an envelope, the one that you want, and this is going to be the final score.
Final score.
Let's see what's going to happen. Yeah, you can open it, and that's going to be the amount of points.
Oh.
I don't believe you. I don't
You got
believe
your
you.
own.
And that means that you have won.
Just I'm from the 1st of May.
No, man!
Yeah.
No way! No way!
Oh, no way, Marius.
Yeah, I was born on the 1st
Which means
of May.
that we have
Patricia,
a winner.
can we know the day you were born?
Yeah, the 10th.
The 10th. And you,
of
Marcella?
May, the 8th.
The 8th.
The 8th.
All right, so you would have won if you would have
Any
picked
time.
any of them,
Yeah.
but you choose yours.
No.
Sorry, not sorry, right, Patricia?
Sorry.
All right, so we
Well,
have a winner today.
We have 11 points for Marius and
17
points
for Patricia. But
Congratulations,
absolutely
Patricia.
well
Thank
done.
you.
Okay, and here ends Guess What and begins Guess Word, Marius Serra's weekly puzzle. So Marius, we had something quite challenging for this week. Can you remind us what it was?
Yeah, it was quite related to figures, in fact, because it was the longest three-syllabic word in English, and it was, as said, 26
Oh,
letters. And everybody, there's no word, no three-syllabic word with 26 letters, but the answer was alphabet.
Oh.
Alphabet, of course.
Of course.
But like you said, it's not a 26 word anyway. It was a bit cheating, no?
Yeah, it was a cheat because the alphabet has got 26
Is that accepted?
letters.
Is that
Yeah,
accepted?
of course, because we are playing any time, and when you play with words, new rules are accepted anytime. Just to open your mind.
You
We
got
are
me, you
so
got me
open-minded.
thinking about Welsh towns. You know that they've got these incredibly long names. I was
long
like,
one
whoa.
with lots of
And
consonants.
we were looking for a very long walk for the whole
That was
week,
the
and
alphabet.
now
Okay, alphabet. What about what do we have for next week, Marius?
Well, this next week will be related to length as
right.
well, but in another way. It is the most nourishing unit of length of 4 letters. The most nourishing unit of length. 4 letters.
Okay, the most nourishing unit of length. Don't worry, it's only 4 letters. You can post our solutions on our social media profiles as soon as you crack the guess word. And well, it's time to go now. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Marius. Until next week, and of course, Sergi. Thank you, and see you as well. It's time for a 3-minute break now. After which we'll enjoy the music by Her Little Donkey, which is a band, by the way, and our Love in Translation section. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Today's Love in Translation section features a couple who had a long-distance relationship for years. Teresa was living in Catalonia and Peter in the UK until they had their daughter 14 years ago. Since then, they've been living near Oxford. I hope you enjoy their story.
I am Peter Bush, and
my name is Teresa. We live in Oxford and we are together since 2003.
we met in a castle in Slovakia called Budmarice. I was the director of the British Centre for Literary Translation, and Teresa was director of the Translator's House in Tarazona in Aragon. And there was a meeting of the European network of directors of literary translation centres.
Yeah, we have a long friendship before we start dating. But the thing is that we live in different countries. so it was not easy.
I took the first step in Brussels. We had to go to Brussels for another meeting of the European network. After the meeting, we went to a nice Belgian restaurant, and we had lots of oysters and mussels, and then we went to a bar after Teresa and myself, and that was when we had our first kiss. Well, the first time I came to Barcelona was in 1968. And what surprised me about Catalan culture in 1968 was that it wasn't very visible, because obviously there was the Franco dictatorship.
In my case, it's not easy to adopt foreign traditions because I work at home all the time. So I have no, this daily contact with other people. But I love this thing that had English people about when they have finished the work, they go to the pub for a drink, and because English people are really sociable, are very, very friendly. So yeah, I like very much that.
Black money. It seems to me in Catalonia and the Spanish state, there is a whole culture of black money, of basically illegality that is built into everyday life, and I think it's very corrupting, and that is something that I'm glad doesn't really exist in the UK.
Well, I definitely will not adopt the custom of having dinner at 6 o'clock or even 5:30. We eat at 7:30, 8. That for our friends is very, very late, but I can get used to really have dinner at 6 o'clock. Oh, it's about me.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my roles in the house is to do the washing up, and I do the washing up as conscientious as I can, but then sometimes I miss a little bit there, and there's a bit of meat on the plate there which I haven't caught, and then Teresa will come down and she'll say, "Look, come here, Peter, and I go into the kitchen and she says, "Can you please, if you're going to do the washing up, do it properly?"
I think it's easy, no? No, it's not a spider.
No?
It's cows. Because we live next to a meadow, and it's full of cows and horses, and we used to go for a walk into the meadow.
We still do go for a walk.
But when there are so many cows, I am afraid of stampede. I don't know.
Stampede?
Yeah. So, yeah. No, I'm not afraid of spiders.
Teresa will get angry with me.
Oh, it was in Brussels.
In Brussels?
Yeah, it was in Brussels, yeah.
You remember that?
I remember that, yes.
I remember the kiss.
Oh, well.
Come with us to San Adrià de Besòs with Mina Hamada and Thousands, the protagonists of the Portraits of Today.
They are a group from Catalonia and they have just released their last LP. After 2 years in which the band has been present at major festivals such as Primavera Sound and playing on large number of venues, they are back with their new album called Where's the Glow? They are Her Little Donkey, and we have here today Patrick Fitzpatrick. Well, Patrick Fitzpatrick, that's an interesting name. Welcome in the first place.
Thank
and
you.
Shall I call you Patrick or Carlos?
Yeah, Patrick is fine. Yeah, so the thing is, Carlos is my first name and Patrick is the middle name, but there's another Carlos in the band, so we decided to go the easy way.
Okay. Well, the name of the band, Her Little Donkey, that's a quite unusual name. What's the story behind it?
So we came up with it in the first time we performed live, just the three of us, Carlos, Ana and me.
Okay.
It was at an open mic here in Barcelona, and there was like this British songwriter who started singing about a little donkey, and then sung some other songs and always ended up going to that little donkey, and he did it in a very funny way. So we thought it was you know, something interesting and funny to remember. And
Easy
then
to remember, exactly, as well.
Exactly, and we gave it the hair for the feminine presence in the band for Anna, who had just joined the project.
Well, a very original name, that's for sure. So tell me, how did you meet as a band? How was the band created?
So Carlos and I created the band in 2012, more or less. We came from very different musical backgrounds, and we wanted to do different things, so we found kind of a common style we were at the moment interested in, and the two of us met studying sound technician course here in Barcelona with Ana as well.
Okay.
But Ana joined a bit later when she saw that the project was going somewhere, and she decided to join us then. So, and after that, after a couple of drummers, then Michel joined the band like a couple of years later.
We have here your last LP. It's called Where's the Glow? It's your second project, actually, no? It's your second
album, yeah.
Album, very nice artwork by Carla Fuentes, exactly. So tell us about this this album, about the style, and what's behind it.
The 10 tracks are written and talk about completely different topics, but they all have something in common, which is kind of a positive vibe and optimistic. In the band, in the past two or 3 years, we've gone through very difficult times, specifically health-wise, but everything turned out great in the end, and that's what we want to transmit. So, given or despite the difficulties we go through in life, there's always a good part, and that's why it's called Where's the Glow, because that's why it doesn't actually have a question mark, because the glow is there.
I see. In terms of style, how would you define the style of the band?
Well, in general, is pop.
Okay.
Right. In the previous album and EPs, we were classified as somehow dream pop, and in this album, we've kind of been influenced more by some of the bands pop bands in the 80s, with a lot of presence on the synthesizers, a lot of chorus in the guitar and all that. Although we all come from different styles, but it's kind of the feedback we're getting from the media. They all find that sort of a style in there.
Well, we have the album here. It's been also published on vinyl. It's not very usual. Why did you take this decision?
Well, the four of us are vinyl consumers.
Okay.
And we really like this format.
They say it's back in fashion, no?
Yeah, exactly. And we're kind of a bit realistic in terms of other formats like CDs. I mean, who uses CDs nowadays? I mean,
yeah, well, it's all digital, no?
Yeah, exactly. So obviously we've published the album in all the digital platforms and all that. But apart from that, we were really excited about having our own vinyl released, and we're able to do it thanks to our record label, actually, Hidden Track.
We said before that you have participated in major festivals, and you've got quite a lot going on in terms of concerts. What does summer look like in terms of your activity?
The most eminent one we have is in Mataró, which is a festival called Sonic June. And we'll be playing there, I think it's the 8th of June.
Well, hopefully we'll come and see you. And today, what are you going to perform for us?
So we're going to, Anna will be joining me now, and we're going to play No Devotion, which is our first single.
One last question, are all the songs on the album in English?
Yes, for two reasons. On the one hand, like I would say 95% of our influences are either British bands or American bands, and they all sing in English, obviously. And then on the other hand, it's quite easy for me since I'm half Irish as well, so you know, it comes in a very natural way.
Okay, excellent. Well, Patrick, thank you so much.
Thanks
and
very
good
much
luck with all the gigs and all your projects.
Thank you.
And now it's time to find out the protagonist of our portraits. She has Japanese origins and he is Argentinian. They met in Catalonia, mixed their art, and now they travel all around the world, painting walls and all kinds of spaces. Mina Hamada and Zozen are well-recognized urban artists, and we have visited them in San Adrià d'Albazos. Here's their portrait.
I'm Mina Hamada. I'm an artist.
I'm Tosan, and I'm a human being.
I arrived to Barcelona like 10 years ago, and I met the graffiti or mural culture because I didn't know anything in Japan. Because in Japan it's difficult to see murals outside because there is no culture, not yet. And I met Sosen, and Sosen was painting graffiti or murals since he was little. So we just started to collaborate.
We started to travel together around the world painting murals. We really enjoy working in social projects, not to have a meaning, not working as an artist, as a brand, you know. We work more like touching the earth and collaborating a lot with the communities and painting in schools and different places or places where it's hard to access to culture. We are really close of La Mina neighborhood, and in La Mina we did a process, a collaborative process with the young people, the youth from this neighborhood. They have a lot of social problems, and through these projects in different casals, we arrived to different ideas to project and to paint on a big wall.
So one of the teacher of this school, he contacted us because he saw the mural in La Mina, and it was a nice project, so we want to have one mural in our school. So we started to talk with them, and also we met students and we asked what they wanted to do. They did many sketches. So we took many inspiration from this, from children, and we are mixing with our style and kids' illustration, and we are making happy murals.
I think it's good that they have in their playground, they have their own drawings, and they can go out and they have a representation of the ideas, and they can think that they have in some ways like importance, no? They could be someone in this society that is difficult in these neighborhoods to these people to see like a bright future, because the reality is hard, no? And with this, it's like you open a door or a window to another possibilities of lifestyle. it's funny because when I was teenager in the 90s, the police, they were trying to catch us, and sometimes they busted us. But now changes, no? Now the council, they are contacting us to put art in the city.
I would like to visit more small village in Catalonia or not only Barcelona.
And paint these new small towns in
Yes,
Catalonia.
to meet people.
Okay.
And I will try to speak Catalan.
I want to see.
Maybe. More bet.
I'm forced to be here only to survive. Put my soul into this to satisfy my pride. Never seems to be enough. I strive, disconnect when I'm away. You could go surfing all day, but just serving someone else. Travel all around the world, take your treasures with you. You could go surfing all day, but just serving someone else. Travel all around the world, take your treasures with you. Disturbing itches spreading in my crown. Pick the switch to enlightened state of mind. There's no devotion in what I do. My pride is to take it all to heart. You could go surfing all day, but just serving someone else. Travel all around the world, take your treasures with you. You could go surfing all day, but just serving someone else. Travel all around the world, take your treasures with you. Treasures with you. You could go surfing all day, but just serving someone else. Travel all around the world, take your treasures with you.
Welcome back. And before we move on to our next Here and There section, let's have a look at the last language tip of today with Tim Guinea, who is going to bring us some really useful tips about frequency. Don't miss the video.
Hi, today we're talking about expressions that we can use instead of frequency adverbs. So what are frequency adverbs? They're words like sometimes, never, and always. And if you want to know more about those words, you can watch a video that we did before. So let's start with always. You don't always have to say always. You can use an expression like around the clock. So imagine the news. You can pretty much access news around the clock. There's a bulletin in the morning, in the middle of the day, and at night. Things that also happen very often, we can say it happens every other day. So this means every second day. So imagine you've got Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I love to go swimming, and I love to go swimming with my best friend, Eliza, and we go swimming every second day. Now, if I'm not that sporty, I could say every now and then, and that would be something that happens not so often, maybe once a month. Something even less common would be once in a blue moon. Maybe you're not such a party animal. You only go to a party or you go out dancing once in a blue moon, so maybe once every 6 months. And if something happens very rarely, maybe you would say only once in a lifetime. So you go on an amazing holiday, you could say that was a once in a lifetime experience. Or maybe you want to win the lottery. Well, that's something that's probably going to be a once in a lifetime, unless you're very lucky. And something that we can say when things are never going to happen, things that you're never going to do, like probably me and bungee jumping, you can say when pigs fly. So it's never going to happen. When pigs start flying, that's when I'm going to do the thing. Well, I hope you are going to use these frequency expressions more often and around the clock. And until next time, I'll see you.
In our Here and There section, we will leave the internet and discuss how, where, and what people meet for. Sport clubs, cultural associations, amateur theatre, charities, professional guilds, unions, clubs, associations multiply around Catalonia. What about Britain, Ireland, or other countries? Are they as associative as Catalans? Well, let's discuss it with our collaborators, Matthew Tree and Mark Broderick. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. Hi.
And let's see, the associations you belong to or have belonged to?
Matthew? Well, I mentioned on a previous program the Tufty Club, which doesn't, you know, it's not really relevant. I was 6 years old and it was a club to help small children to cross the road. Tufty was a squirrel who held up a little sign. Well, it doesn't matter. And I was in the CNT, the anarcho-syndicalist trade union, for about a year or so, but because I'm not very good with associations, I didn't really do anything or join in anything. And the only association I belong to now is the Association of Catalan Language Writers, which I contribute absolutely nothing to except the fee every year that they take out of my bank account. But I'm just not good at associations. I don't go to the meetings. I don't vote for the president and the vice president. I don't do any of that. So, yeah, you better talk to Mark, really, I think, about this.
Mark Broderick, let's see, what's your contribution to associations?
Does the mob count?
The mob?
The mob, the Italian mob, does that count?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm actually serious. I was unwittingly a member, not really a member, but I was working in a restaurant which was run and owned by the Italian mob, 50% of the business, 25% of the business was the Haitian mob, and the other 27% was the triads, the Chinese triads. So I kind of felt part of the whole gang when they used to come together and have the meetings. I was the person in charge of those meetings. I was the waiter in charge. So actually I got to see a lot of the inner side workings of how these meetings happen when they come, the big cars, the guns, so it was unwittingly, yeah? And I did leave the job after about a year. I was earning so much good money at the time, but after a year I said I had enough.
Only a year.
Only a year, yeah. It's like the money's too good to leave these guys alone, yeah. So it was an unwittingly part of an association, if you like.
Sounds like a film or something. Are you sure this is actually your dangerous past, or you're making it up?
It's actually true. Funnily enough, and I didn't actually realize until one day I was walking into this tatami room, which is these rooms they close off, and they're like, Mark, now we're going to give you a special thing because we have a couple of big guys coming in. And I went into the room and they had like the head of the three families or the three things with their henchmen, and they had guns on the table and everything, and I was standing there like this, and I was like, oh shit, I think I'm in the wrong place here. But they're like, no, just relax, just serve the tables and leave. They give like a $2,000 tip, so I couldn't leave that association after that. Come on.
Mark Broderick and his dangerous
My dangerous past. Yes.
Okay, well, let's talk about Catalonia and the Catalans. You know, there is this cliche that the Catalans are mean when it comes to money, but actually, when it comes to associations, there are more volunteers in Catalonia than in many other parts of Spain. So what is your point of view about this?
I think they love to join associations here. I think since I've arrived about 11 years ago, I've never seen so many people in different associations, from children in India to, well, you'll see in the videos later, there's a few other strange ones that I came across along the way. Associations for people climbing castles, associations for playing sports, associations for politics, associations for knitting, associations for witches. I've seen it all here. I don't know, Matthew, maybe you've a little bit more
No, I have exactly the
me.
same impression. I know loads of people who belong to, for example, my daughter's boyfriend, he belongs to one of these drum beating groups, you know, where they practice to do all that.
Nice.
I know people who are in human castle building things, which are now everywhere. They're all over Catalonia.
The funny one, the bastonets.
The correfoc,
the bastonets, the guys with the sticks.
And the correfoc groups who also rehearse and practice and everything all year to do those, what would you call the correfoc, the fire run, those spectacular things with fireworks and dressed up as...
But I don't understand, where do they get all the time to do
demons.
this? In between like working, right, and all of the family life you guys have here and everything. Like I was actually passing a sign yesterday and I saw like the timetable for joining like a Castellers association. And I looked at the timetable, as like, Jesus, these people have a lot of time. Every Wednesday from 7 till 11, 4 hours, and again on Friday from 7 to 11. That's 8 hours a week. That's just a castle building. I don't know, as the ones for the bloody knitting as well. Do they meet up 8 hours a week to knit?
Come on, Mark.
I don't know.
Well, this involves, you know, commitment.
That's true. Something I don't have a lot of.
Yeah. One thing you mentioned, though, this thing about Catalans being mean. I'd just like to step in there and say, Catalans are not mean. You know, in general, they're not mean, and even in particular, you know, specific people, they are not any meaner than specific people anywhere else. And this kind of myth about the meanness of Catalans, I think it's a myth that just should be put to death for good. You know, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't correspond to any reality.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, let's say that apart from this moment in this particular section, let's put it to death that all Catalans are not mean, and we won't speak about it again. What do you think? We'll put it as part of an association. No, they're not mean. We won't speak about it again. And I totally agree.
Okay.
Absolutely agree.
Mark, what about, you know, Ireland, Matthew, the UK? Do you guys tend to join associations in general?
In Ireland, you're forced into religious and sporting associations at a very young age. But what I found, actually, doing a little bit of research as well, because in Ireland we're not really that into the association things, was the Irish associations abroad. Now there you have hundreds of them. I mean, like, you go to New York, you go to Sydney, you go to small little towns all across, you know, United States. You have the Irish Dancing Association, the Irish Expat Association, the Irish Bacon and Cabbage Association, the Irish Let's Go Drink a Pint and Watch the Hurling at 7 o'clock in the Morning Association. I mean, I've seen it all. I've been in Montreal, and I swear to God, there's more bloody Irish associations there than there are in Ireland themselves. What about you, Matthew?
My experience would be specifically of London in the late 70s, early 80s, and everybody I knew was affiliated to some kind of political group. It was always politics. It was never an apolitical group. So, I mean, my very first girlfriend, you know, I was 15, she was 16. She was affiliated to a Trotskyist group on the margins of the Labour Party, you know, and she had the complete works of Trotsky, which are unreadable, by the way. She had the
with
whole
an axe
thing.
at the end, no?
With a, thank you, Mark, for that. A little pickaxe at the end.
Sorry, little pickaxe at the end.
And when, yes, at the end of his life's work. And when I belonged myself to an anarchist group in South London, but we were surrounded in the flat where I lived. There were two Trotskyists. There was someone from the Communist Party of Great Britain, which was a sort of Stalinist organization. There were the Spartacists selling newspapers on the metro who believed in the type of communism that was flourishing in Germany in the 1930s. I mean, you know, everybody was politically involved one way or the other, but none of these were major political parties. They were not in Parliament, and they didn't have any chance whatsoever of getting into Parliament. But the whole thing was quite weird because, you know, everywhere in London was covered in graffiti and posters, people selling papers everywhere, myself included.
Well,
I can just imagine you,
very
20-year-old Matthew.
Okay, anyway, Mark,
selling black flag at
this
Brixton
week,
Station.
this week,
Yes.
Mark, you visited Arenys de Mar.
I did. I went to this
Right?
place called Calisai. So
Calisai.
it's a cultural centre in Arenys de Mar, and there they had like a whole bunch of associations that just took up shop there. I think it's an old distillery, if I'm not mistaken. I think
Yeah.
they told us it was an old distillery.
They
so
used
I
to
went there
make,
to check out the
Interesting.
Catalans Association.
They used to make a really disgusting liqueur.
sweet
which was
liqueur,
a very
yeah.
sweet liqueur that
That's
was
right.
almost undrinkable. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's watch the video and we'll see what happens.
So here we are in Calisai, in Arenys de Mar. Have you ever been member of an association, a club, a gang maybe?
Yes, I am. We have in my family another ONG in south of India is Ajutsi.
In Catalonia we have Pobillas y Areus. We used to go to around the whole Catalonia, explaining where we come from. You can find a girlfriend there.
The Catalan Tinder.
The Catalan Tinder from many years ago.
Centuries. You guys were way ahead of everybody else.
It was a fraternity.
What was your initiation? You run around naked around the football field or something?
Well, it wasn't. No, it was just like heavy drinking.
Project Africa, it's called. A group of people do go to Kenya. It was the best experience of my life so far.
I have a small charity for myself. Is like help the tall man.
Can I join? I'm pretty tall as well.
Yeah, you just need to bend the knee.
Stop it. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I'm not bending any knees here. So here behind me, can you see any symbols at the very top up there, Danny? Maybe related to the Illuminati, a secret association. If there was a secret society, which one would you like to be part of and why?
Illuminati, isn't that the one that Da Vinci Code? Yeah. That sounds bad. Don't they have that thing that... I don't want that.
Well, the first one which came to mind before you even said it was Illuminati, because it's
Okay.
the entire, does it exist? And I don't know.
Does it exist?
I don't know.
The Bilderberg Club.
What kind of changes would you make to the world?
I think I would do changes in my world, in my economy.
The shamanic world. I can search your animal power.
I feel like inside me there's like a goat.
I think you have a cabra here, but not all of you.
Well, you have a goat where?
That woman nailed it. She could see through her visions. She could see there's a goat in my brain. I think you need to be a little bit crazy in order to do these Vox boxes, you know?
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with the GOAT acronym you mentioned last week, which
It
is
could
the
indeed.
greatest of all times.
It could indeed. I could be the greatest of all time doing these street things.
The
I'm not sure.
greatest,
I'd like to
goat
think so. The
of,
greatest.
all times.
Exactly. That would be me.
Okay, I see you came across many people from all kinds of associations.
Yeah, it was great. They were really, really nice.
People are very committed, no,
Yeah.
in Arenys?
I found them that everybody belonged to something, and even we were just laughing there off screen about the guy that was involved in the Pobillas and Areus. And actually, I didn't
That's a
understand
good one.
until we had a chat about it here. And it's kind of like the most beautiful belle of the town, no? Or the most eligible bachelor of the town. Would that be it?
The most popular.
Something most popular. I thought that one was pretty funny. I thought it was nailed on.
What about the strangest, most surprising association you've seen or you've noticed here and there as well?
Well, actually,
there were lots of funny associations.
I had to do a bit of a background check on this one, and I found three
Some
that
research.
I thought were hilarious, and two of them were actually in your neck of the woods, Matthew. The one is the UK Roundabout Appreciation Society. What the sorry, WTF. This must be the most boring thing alive. Can you imagine? What do they do in that association? You sit around, let's admire the cars going around in circles. Let's think about ways of putting like flowers in the middle of the roundabouts. And there's so many of them, I suppose. If they came here, they would have tons of associations. There's so many bloody roundabouts. The second one, the Durham University Assassins Society. Now,
Wow.
it sounds very dark, and it sounds very like, you know, assassins, you know, like, but actually it's actually an assassin game that they play in Britain, and you have to kill people with like these Nerf guns that shoot this kind of like foam gun thing, or with like a cardboard knife. And I remember a few years ago for a Festa Major here when I was living in Moya that we played this game called Killer, and you were given a person to find and kill during 10 days. And everybody who was in their houses like looking outside, waiting for the person to come to see how, and you had to kill the person creatively and stuff like this. So I think it was, followed on from this one. And the last one is the Uttar Pradesh, I don't know, it sounds terribly the bad pronunciation, Association of Dead People. Basically, there's a whole lot of people in India that have to prove that they're still alive. Okay? And I thought that was really nuts. I was like, they actually have to go around because they say that their death certificate has come through. They're legally dead, and then they have to go back and prove that they're alive. So there's a whole like swath of people that are allegedly dead.
Okay.
So
well, thank you for these impressive facts,
impressive,
Mark.
yeah.
I see you've done your homework.
I tried to do a little bit more homework. And you, Matthew?
Any strange associations, Matthew, you've heard of?
In Catalonia, the one I actually went to see the president of this association. It's called the Asociació dels Caganers, the Crappers Association.
Of course, very popular here.
Very popular, you know, those little figures that are defecating in the nativity scene. And I went to his house, and it really was amazing because 3 walls of his living room were just covered with these little people, you know, doing their business on all across the walls. And they were every single type, you know. There was the traditional crapper with the Catalan hat, the barretina. There were also famous figures like footballers, singers, politicians, and so forth.
Okay.
But it was a real... He took it very, very seriously indeed. You know, there was no laughing, but I mean, we were just talking, surrounded by...
They were it was like a museum, no?
Yeah, like a kind of museum, exactly.
Were there more bathrooms than bedrooms in that particular apartment?
Not that I noticed, but I
so
actually...
3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. In his case, it's 5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms.
I made a point of not asking for the toilet. There's no way I was going to do that. You know.
Yeah, would you like to have your own kagane, Mark?
I would love to. That would be great if somebody dedicated enough of their time to make a kagane of me, but I don't think anybody has that much time or would bother their arse in
You
doing
know
it.
that you don't exist until you have your own kagane.
That's true. Maybe I should actually push La Xarxa to try and get somebody to make a model of me
I don't
taking
think
a poo.
Xarxa. I think there is this company
I have to go to
who
the
makes
company.
them.
All right, okay.
Okay, anyway, what about the following, the second part of the video?
The second part of the video, well, it's probably more interesting because I asked them which ones they would never like to join, which kind of associations, and I was a little bit liberal here with the term association.
Okay, interesting.
Just so that we know.
Let's watch it.
You have to be a member of one of these clubs, right?
Yeah.
The Ku Klux Klan, the Hells Angels, or the National Rifle Association. Which one would you prefer to be a member of?
Hells Angels, are they like a group of bikers? Yeah, right?
Very good, yes.
I don't see why not. Let's go with them.
I think the Hells Angels.
I need the motorcycle first, right? The jacket and that's it. And the tattoos. Well, I have one right now.
That's not a very Hells...
No, it's not from...
Dude, honestly, I don't think they're going to let you into the Hells Angels. So imagine you were the new fashion designer, okay, of the KKK. What would you tell them to wear?
Let's make it a bit more revealing, controversial. Long ribs, a bit shorter, give them a mini skirt.
Bikini, top white, of course.
I would ask the designer of Desigual to join the association and to design the new capuchas.
They should have to wear like a T-shirt that says "I'm with the Klan."
What kind of charity do you think Hells Angels could get into?
I don't know, what are Hells Angels generally involved in?
Drugs, extortion, killing, murder, kidnapping, nice T-shirts that people wear. I don't know.
Christian charity or something like that. Hells Angels.
Maybe they could help the penguins of the Antarctica.
Well, they've always been good at security. Maybe they could like guard children, you know, like around like kindergartens and such.
They could help grandmothers to cross the street.
Impressive, quite impressive.
As you see, the loose term association, they're referring to the KKK, the NRA, and of course the Hells Angels was used with a pinch of salt. I hope I didn't offend anybody.
And the question is, name an association or a few associations you'd rather not be a member of.
Anything to do with politics or animals?
Okay.
Literally anything to do with politics or animals.
I see you've got it very clear.
I've got it very clear. Anything to do with animals or politics. Matthew?
There's one that I would definitely not join, and I saw them in action, if you can call it action, years ago, and I think they're still around. It was called the Pipa Club, which would be something like the Friends of the Pipe, and it consisted of a group of middle-aged men, all of them, funnily enough, with beards, who would sit around in a venue off the Plaza Real in Barcelona, smoking pipes every week, and I just can't imagine. Well, actually, I can imagine things more boring than that, but not many. You know, watching paint dry would be an equivalent, you know.
Well, let's talk about something more exciting. Let's talk about pubs. This is a real institution in the UK and in Ireland. What's it? Let's talk about its cultural and social meaning and its role, apart from drinking and and meeting people and quizzes and so on.
Well, I would say the main function of pubs in London seems to be to get people who've just spent 8 hours working together to spend even more time together after work, sitting in a pub and drinking alcohol.
Exactly, the same people, no?
That's exactly the same people, because it's a very normal habit in London at least, but I think in other large towns in England as well.
It means that these people get along very well, no?
Well, they get along well after they've had a few drinks. I mean, that's the
Or not.
Or not. No, that's the other thing.
Nothing worse than going drinking with your boss, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no,
After
I
a
can
few drinks,
imagine.
usually the stuff comes out, you know?
Yeah. No, it can be
I
terrible.
can imagine, Mark.
But in English, there's also an expression, the man in the pub. And the man in the pub is the typical person who knows nothing about anything, but as soon as he's got a few drinks inside him, gives opinions about absolutely everything, which are based on nothing at all. And so you can talk about a man in the pub opinion, meaning something that is just based on just nonsense. I mean, I've been in pubs where they've told me that the Twin Towers were brought down by the Jews and the CIA and this kind of stuff.
Conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theorists, you know, that's your man in the pub. It's a typical figure, and there usually is one in every pub.
And in every country as well.
And in every country.
Every pub in every
yes.
country. Yeah. There are other things we can do in pubs apart from drinking. I don't know why you're so obsessed with drinking, Matthew. You're taking my role away.
There's nothing else to do in them. I mean,
no, in Ireland, it's actually like I've participated in a lot of pub quizzes, which I love. I'd love to organise one for the Weekly Mag. I think we should do one at the end of the
Great
season.
idea.
That would be a great idea.
Oh.
Mark's pub quiz for the Weekly Mag.
I can't stand them. Basically,
oh, come on.
No, I don't like pub
I'll
quizzes.
put you with Marius. You and Marius, both of you don't have any ideas.
So. You know, I always lose.
We also have the.
We'll tell you the topic beforehand, so you can prepare.
And the answers, possibly?
No.
Well, I'm not sure about the answers.
There was other ones then that do cuisine evenings where people come and learn to cook in the pub.
That's good.
It's a way as well, I think, that Ireland at the minute are trying to shift the focus away. They know that the pubs are an important institution, but I guess they're trying to shift the focus away from the actual drinking thing. They got comedy nights where you can go and watch comedians. You can actually hear in Barcelona as well. There's some of those.
Yeah.
People go to watch films and series. People go to watch Game of Thrones. Everybody gets together and have Game of Thrones evenings in the pubs. At 2 o'clock in the morning, they have a shutdown and everybody goes watch Game of Thrones or a new movie or something like that. And another one is, which I like, which they haven't brought here yet, is the murder mystery night. I don't know have they ever done them here, but I remember my friend used to take part in them in Dublin. And it's like Cluedo. Cluedo, you call it here? Cluedo. But done in the pub at night, and everybody has a role to play and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's lots of other things you can do.
Which would be the Catalan equivalent of the pub? What do you think? If there is one, of course.
There are pubs here, but they're not the same. I mean, I have seen, for example, talk about playing games and stuff like that. The Ateneos in the towns.
Yeah, exactly.
The kids are the kids. They're basically kids. Most of them are like late teens and stuff that participate. They play things like Catan, Risk. I've seen chess, listening to music, talking about things. That would be the closest thing for me to that kind of pub.
Yeah, I agree. Ateneos, casinos.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. And you, Matthew?
I'd say the equivalent of pubs in Catalonia are pubs. You know,
That's a great quote. I need to write that down. I need to remember.
Whatever you say, Mark, it doesn't matter. That's it. All right.
There are
The
hundreds
equivalent
of them.
is just pubs.
There are hundreds of them, all not just in Barcelona, but all over Catalonia. In Banyoles, the City Arms, one of the most popular pubs, bars in Girona, is a pub serving every different kind of, you know, English beer you can imagine.
They're not the same.
They're not
Matthew.
exactly the same.
They just have
but-
the same name. They don't have to serve the same purpose.
No, but they are
All right.
pubs, and they're very popular with people here. That's
Fine,
what I find
Okay,
interesting.
I'm really curious to find out how your visit to Arenys de Mar ended.
Well, the last video, of course, I couldn't leave without creating my own association.
Of
So
course.
I hazed a few people on the street, and it actually worked. They actually they played along with it. Yeah.
It was successful?
It was a successful. Yeah, I might have to get rid of one of you
All
two
right,
guys out of
let's
it. I'm
have
not
a
sure
look.
yet.
So Calisai has tons of space for many associations. Maybe they have enough space for my association, the Weekly Mag Association. Let's go find some new members and maybe we can haze them a little bit. The challenge of lifting 25 kilos of dog. Here we go.
Wonderly wise words written for the Weekly Mag.
Excellent. Okay, ready?
Okay. Wonderly wise words written for the Weekly Mag.
Whoa! High five. Well done. We have our strong man. Oh shit. The girl who rides the horse with one leg.
Okay. Go. Wonderfully wise words written for the Weekly Mag.
Yes.
Wonderfully wise words written for the Weekly Mag.
Wonderfully wise words written for the Weekly Mag.
Hey, that deserves a round of applause. We definitely have a singer for our association. Thank you so much. I want you to say this tongue twister with a mouthful of water. Yeah, we're gonna see how it goes down. It's gonna be like this, but it's okay. You might get a little bit wet.
That's fine. So you don't want me to swallow the water?
I'd prefer you to spit.
That's weird.
Just a little bit, okay? And then you got to try and say that. Hold on, we're gonna need...
I screwed up. I drank it. All right, I'll do it again.
Here we go. Jake from Vermont. Well done! Hey.
I'm glad you told me to look up.
Great.
Okay, very funny. Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you. Every time he tried to tell me what to do, he was swallowing the water. It was like, why don't you try up in the air like this, like you have Listerine or something.
Okay, so have you earned your right to our membership?
You guys have one as well. I'm sure you're going to make me do something absolutely ridiculous,
Well,
but you
you'll
know
see.
what? That's why I'm here.
Matthew
I'm
has
a
it already.
Good sport.
Yeah.
Okay,
First of all,
so-
you have to wear the
So
official...
I don't need this anymore, right?
This
so I
is
have to
the
wear what?
official
hat
equipment.
and
All right.
eyeglasses.
No problem.
If
This-
you could...
oh my
Oh, he's got the glasses.
God.
Okay, we have it all here.
And maybe
Jesus
so he feels a bit more
Christ.
comfortable, we could wear the same
I'm not
thing,
feeling very
Marcella.
comfortable right now, but anyways, as much. Oh, look at that! Look at that, Matthew.
Yeah. It's just so you feel more comfortable.
Anyway,
Yeah,
and
look at that. No,
what
missing
else?
the glasses,
What else
missing the
does
glasses.
it take?
You have to swear a special oath.
Jesus Christ. Sorry.
We have to
Yeah.
swear a special oath.
A special oath. Which,
A special oath.
yeah, if we just
Do I have
go
to get down
through
on one
that-
knee like this?
No, you don't
No?
have to do that. No. You just have to swear the oath. You start off by, I solemnly swear. Repeat after me,
Like
please.
this? Like this? Do I have any movements here? Come on, make
No,
it
you have to
interesting.
repeat after
Okay,
Matthew.
repeat after Matthew. Okay, Matthew,
I
ready?
solemnly swear.
I solemnly swear.
I will abide by the rules of the Weekly Mag Association.
I will abide by the rules of the Weekly Mag Association. Right, I'm getting at this very well here.
And obey its President Marcella and Vice President Matthew.
And obey its President Marcella and its Vice President Matthew.
And do whatever they want.
And do whatever they want.
Okay, Marcella.
Well, okay, you successfully passed the test.
damn
Mark,
well hope so.
congratulations. And
Yes.
now
Yes.
we have more tests for
Okay,
you.
go
This
for
is
it.
the second one. You have to guess the answer to the following riddle, which is, what room do ghosts avoid? What room do ghosts avoid?
The room that the ghosts avoid. If I was a ghost, I definitely wouldn't go near the living room.
Oh, well done.
I think I've heard this one before. I'm ready to join this association. I'm already miles ahead.
But
Right,
finally,
final one. Go on.
before that,
Yes.
I think Matthew has something else for you.
A tongue twister.
Oh, God.
A tongue twister. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
Can I have a copy of that? Do I have to read it?
Sure you
Or,
can.
I mean, like, I don't have a... Okay, here we go. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A pick of peppers. Peter Piper picked a... No, that's not going to happen. Hold on, let's try one more go.
Okay,
very
one
quickly.
more try.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peckers. Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a pecker of pickled peckers, where's the peck? No, peppers. Where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
Wow, well done, well done.
Very
What do you
good.
think, Matthew?
Not as good as Matthew.
That's excellent, but I do think we should have a word with our scriptwriter.
There's too many peckers in that one for me.
Anyway, Mark, I officially declare you Secretary of the Weekly Mag Association.
Why am I the only one that's looking like an idiot right now? Is this like part of the whole association? Is this the hazing that you guys are doing to me?
Oh, come on, well, your sense of humor.
I do it. I'm the
Anyway,
goat.
Thank you, Mark. You look great.
Thank you.
Hmm?
Yes.
Your job as a secretary, you can start already.
I can bring you coffee, no?
No. I think
sorry.
we'll decide, no, together.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, thank you.
No
and
problem.
until next week, thank you, Matthew.
I hope I don't have to wear
And
this.
here ends the Weekly Mag. Catch up with all the episodes and sections online and follow us on the social networks. And don't forget to post the solution to the guess word puzzle by Mario Serra, the most nourishing unit of length for letters. Well, until then, have a nice week and keep your English up and running.